So we are here live at the investiture of His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule, FNIPR, the governor of Nasarawa State, as a patron of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. The event is holding here live at the main auditorium of African First Ladies Peace Mission Complex here in Abuja. And we want to welcome you to the event. And as you can see, everywhere is getting set. Dignitaries are coming. We have a lot of people who have been invited to this event, and the whole place is getting set. We are having the arrival of the traditional rulers who have been invited to this event. As you can see, this is the arrival of the traditional rulers who our members are already robing. The members of the institute are already robing. As you can see, we have people who have been robing for the event, and fellows, members, associates, and also council members are also here. Everybody is getting set. We have the registrar of the institute robing, and the other members who are robing, and we are set for the procession for this event. I want to please bring you this event live here on our YouTube channel. Let me quickly take you to the hall where we have people who are seated for the event already, and the hall is getting filled up. Let me show you to the hall. As you can see, the hall is have already arrived there, and how long will it take before you? Good afternoon, ma. Fine, ma. Fine, ma. Good afternoon, ma. Fine, ma. Welcome, ma. Thank you. Hello. Members of the institute are about to start the procession, which is a part of the rituals for investitures into the institute. You can see the excitement on the faces of our members who are eager to welcome the governor into the institute as our patron.
Are you sure? We should be too sure.
Let me give her. Let me give her. Okay. Okay.
Muito bom, dá um programa. Yes, that's all. Okay. Ela cai isso aqui.
Hello. 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 Hello.
You know, Mike.
Hello. Hello. Wait, let me.
Sorry.
You know the talk, or you don't on. You don't on.
Hello.
It's on, but it's not talking. Hello? It's on, but it's not talking. Hello? Hello? Hey, contact. My person contact. Call you. Not on a line.
Hello.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellows, members of the NIPR, I'd like to invite that we kindly take our places and sit down for the Investiture of His Excellency. Abdullahi Sule, who will be invested today as a patron of the NIPR. Please, for those who are supposed to be hanging outside, kindly come in and take your seats. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, who will be invested today, has already arrived and he is outside. Please kindly find somewhere and sit down. Would like to welcome most heartily our royal fathers who have been here. The procession indicates the formal beginning of this event. As you would see, council members and fellows are leading, and in the rear will be the president, who will be coming at all with the Patron designate, His Excellency Abdullahi Sule. You'll also notice that NIPR, the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, is one that is very serious on the formality of very sacrosanct I'd like to announce that the Patron designate, His Excellency Abdullahi Sule, is here, being led into the hall by the national president of the NIPR, Dr. Engr. May we rise for the national anthem. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi, the National President of the NIPR, the Nigerian Public Relations, Dr. Kenele Akub, FNIPR, and his wife, our First Lady in the NIPR, the Right Honorable Speaker of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly, principal officers of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly, they're led here by the Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Abdullahi, Honorable members of the House, His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kefi, Dr. Sheikh the Third, and our very revered, very respected royal fathers from Nasarawa State who have been here with us, who have taken the time to come felicitate and join in this history-defining occasion. Would like to thank you for coming to bless this occasion with your words of wisdom. The Vice President of the NIPR, Professor Emmanuel Engr, who is here with us, and of course, distinguished son of the soil, members of the Nasarawa State Executive Council, honorable commissioners, federal commissioners, Federal Commission, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, Honorable Aliyu Tijani, and other chief executives of federal establishment. I'd like to respectfully also, although it's not indicated here, tender my respectful greetings to our members in the National Legislature who have actually made the time to be here. I can see some from highly placed, respected, distinguished sons. So you're most warmly welcome. Special advisors, the Secretary to the President of Nasarawa State, the Chairman of ALGAM, the Chairman of Local Government Councils, and other top government functionaries, former elected appointees, federal and state, who are here to join His Excellency. I'd like to recognize the presence of Dr. Faisal Shoaib, architect Shehu Tukuru, and all distinguished parents sons of Nasarawa State who are all here with us. We'd like to welcome you. This today indeed is a history-defining day. The investiture of His Excellency Abdullahi, Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, as a patron of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. If you're wondering, we're actually in Nasarawa State, being hosted in Abuja. That is why I'm leading the charge. It is actually an event of Nasarawa State, given the symbiosis with the NIPR. We've been given the grace to actually lead, we've actually held in Nasarawa State. So welcome all of you home to Nasarawa State in Abuja. I'd like to invite the DPR to come and also give us a few recognitions on behalf of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations before we proceed. Once more, most warmly welcome.
Thank you very much, the distinguished DG Strategic Communication. I agree with you that we're not contesting, also like we are. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor to Your Excellency, sir, I have the singular honor and privilege to introduce your brother and your friend. Of course, I know that brotherhood and friendship relationship were built on the foundations of character, competence, and value. And I know very well that if it were to be only you, I wouldn't have bothered to introduce the president, because within the short time of knowing each other, evidence of good work are taking preeminence. But for the fact that you came with your entourage and eminent Nigerians across the country, I will just very respectfully introduce the President, Chairman of the Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, a man who has put Nigeria on a global map. When I say this out of strong conviction and evidence, because as we speak, His Excellency is sitting with a man who is leading a global institute that has been adjudged the best association across the world. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very humble man by excellence, one-time special assistant advisor to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a position that he held, and our heads were quite up because of his delivery. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen from across the country, here we have a man whose impact in 2.5 years has been able to produce a result that ordinarily would take 35 years to achieve. Your Excellency, I know I'm not introducing him to you, but for your visitors and entourage. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, here we are in this very chilled room, seated with a man whose leadership qualities and style are quite admired even by the Western world. I would want to very respectfully, Your Excellency, because if we begin to talk about the president who will not live here today, I will very, very respectfully introduce a transformative leader and a visionary leader, the man in whom we are delighted to have at this time to be the President, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR. And I must end by saying that this is one man who is pan-Nigerian, and his heart is plated with the Nigerian project. Dr. Ike Niliabu, President, Chairman of Governing Council, we are delighted to have you here. Distinguished ladies, Professor Emmanuel Dandara is the Vice President, Vice Chairman of Governing Council of the NIPR. Thank you very much for honoring us. Your Excellency, sir, this is a council affair, and like the DG Strategic Communication said, it's supposed to be held in Nasarawa State, but we have graciously accepted him to host us here. So the President and the Council has actually come in their numbers, and like I said, it's a council affair, and we're very delighted to have our council members. Seated from my immediate right is Olinus Rim is a council member, and he came all the way from Rivers State. Thank you very much for joining us. Next to him, we have Professor Abdullahi Saudat. She is joining us all the way from Kwara State, a council member. Thank you very much. We have next to her Brigadier General S.K. Usman, retired but not tired, a council member representing the federal government of Nigeria at the Governing Council. We also have next to him an Amazon in the house, All the way from Plateau State, Jos, we have Professor Sarah Lohas. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We also have the woman who retired from the villa as a director and a council member, Mrs. Olubumi Badijo. You are welcome. Again, we have another Amazon in the house, a council member representing the federal government and the governing council of the institute, Aja Miriam Sanusi. You are welcome. I know that I saw, okay, I can still see him. Dr. Suleiman Haruna is the one leading the protocol and public relations at the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation. He is also a council member representing the federal government. Then seated next to him is one of our icons, the Director General, Voice of Nigeria. Is also a council member, Madam Tudri Udachi. You are welcome. The last but not the least on the call of the council members is the third Amazon, or the fourth, flying in all the way from Lagos State, Nigeria, Mrs. Comfort Obot. You are welcome. Your Excellency, sir, the Institute's pride itself as the one that has the highest pool of professionals. Before I hand over to the DG Strategic Communication, let me also inform you that we have some distinguished fellows of the Institute here. And I want to start by your sister, one of the oldest fellows that are still living. She is no other than the Queen Mother, Lami Tumaka. Yes, I saw the governor's reaction when I mentioned the name. Madam, you are an asset. We also have distinguished fellow Oke Ikechukwu, who is the CEO of Development Tech Academy. So thank you for joining us. We have a distinguished fellow Charles Ezobimwa. Thank you very much for joining us. We have distinguished fellow Joe Ita, retired but not tired as well. Thank you very much for joining us. We have distinguished fellow Edward Adebanjo. Of course, he's the vice chairman of the FCT chapter. Thank you for coming out to the room. We have distinguished fellow Fapaonda Tiwalade. Thank you very much for joining us. The last but not the least, this fellow Chinwe Obuka. We appreciate your presence. Your Excellency, sir, it's at this point that I want to very respectfully hand over to my colleague, the DG, who is also doing us proud. But before then, we are forgetting the host, your host, Your Excellency. I think with the permission of the President, we need to very, very profoundly recognize no other than the Secretary General, Conference of Speakers and President, Dapo Oyewale. We also appreciate you for donating this facility to both the NIPR and the Nasarawa State Government. We appreciate you.
We'd like to thank the DPR, who is also the chairman of the NIPR in the SCT, standing vertical for very robustly introducing NIPR. For us in Nasarawa State, I think we'll do it in a very simple way. First, I'd like to again recognize the presence of our royal fathers who are here with us. His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kefi, who is here. We'd like to pay you our respects and thank you so very much for coming to bless the occasion. His Royal Highness, the Iron Ikon, Justice Abdullahi, who is also here with us, would like to thank you so much for taking the time. His Royal Highness the Isu Karu, who is here with us, also Justice Nasarawa, and of course His Royal Highness Isu Karu, Francis Lukamania Baba. His Royal Highness our Father, from, well, I'll say the home state of His Excellency, the Chumada, Pastor Samson Gamu. We welcome you so much and thank you for your blessings. And I would again like to recognize the presence of our member from the National Legislature, Senator Honorable Jeremiah Umaru, who is here. Now, I would like to say that the NIPR conceded to us that we should be the ones to introduce our own chairman of NIPR in Nasarawa State, who is also a fellow Joseph Atta, retired controller, who would like to. We negotiated. I negotiated with them that I would be the one to introduce you. So we'd like to welcome you. Our honorable commissioners, those of us and sons, eminent sons of Nasarawa State, from the highest echelon of government who are here with us to join His Excellency, would like to welcome you and welcome you. You know, there's this invisible glass. People don't see it, it's invisible. Sometimes when they say you break a glass ceiling, that means you've broken through an invisible glass that is sometimes likened to prejudice and sometimes likened to what people think is ordinary. His Excellency, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, is a person who has broken the glass ceiling in whatever convention you would look at it. The convention of leadership, the convention of politics of hope rather than politics of bitterness, the convention of good governance, the benchmark, and the personal example of a leader who epitomizes the best values in governance. Today, these are all of the values that we will be celebrating today. I'd like to, therefore, most respectfully invite the Vice President of the NIPR, Professor Emmanuel Engr, to come and give us welcome remarks. Today is the day of the Chair, Abdullahi. So we will peel him apart, just like you do with the onion, so that you can better understand the person that we will be unraveling today.
Thank you very much, Gigi. Let's give you a big round of applause. Your Excellency, sir, it will be very, very difficult to forgive ourselves if we don't most respectfully introduce these two renowned women in our midst. Your Excellency, sir, I want to very respectfully inform you officially that the wife of the President, the #1 citizen of the internationally reputed institute, is here in the room. Not only that, she is a full member of the institute. But just for humility, she will always want to process in accordance and in the company of her class. I know that some women in her class will drag to follow Mr. President at the back. But even when you offer, she will say, no, I prefer to dine and wine with my people. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's give a very big round of applause to Mrs. Oke. Thank you very much for supporting our president to do what he's doing. Your Excellency, sir, I said two. I've spoken about one. And the other is a woman who has made not only the institute proud, but Nigeria at large. A woman who is a renowned and one of the best veterans in area of broadcasting in Nigeria. Your Excellency, I also have the opportunity to tell you that in less than 1 month from today, by the special grace of God and with the support of the governing council of the institute, She is going to be decorated as a distinguished fellow of the Institute. She is no other than our dear mother, Auntie Moji Makandiola. Thank you very much for being with us here this morning. And of course, the registrar of the Institute is always working 247. He's supposed to be on red cap today, but he has taken to choose a green cap. Let's give our registrar a big round of applause. Mr. Vice President, it is now time for you to give us welcome remarks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Director of Public Relations, and of course, the DG Strategic Communication to His Excellency, the Governor of Nasarawa State. Your Excellency and our respected guests from the state, Mr. President, distinguished council members, registrar, fellows, members, and associates of the Institute. Today is a very good day for us, particularly for me, because we are doing what we have had to wait for very long to do. The celebrant today, what we're about to do is to fulfill part of the requirement of our law. And as you probably hear from the president as the event proceeds, there are reasons why this is unique. That we're not just satisfying that, but we are doing that for a unique personality. For me, I'm happy because as chairman of the Project Implementation Committee of the world's first Investiture of Public Relations and Leadership, the governor is one of our partners. And he's not just one of our partners. Of all the partners, he's the one that has given me sleepless nights. And so I really want to thank you publicly. This is because before you explain an idea to him, he has seen the end. And he even helps you with more information. And at the end of the day, what you want to speak to him about will come out with a better idea. And this is what is very, very exciting for me. And as you reveal the secret, Your Excellency, my colleagues in council, when it was time to consider whether this day should hold or not, they all had good things to say about you. After they said all that, it was the obvious. And they now said I should say something. I said, well, all you have said is very correct, but as an indigene, I should also tell you more things. And one of the things I told them, they actually seven, and I will just mention them because I made notes in council that day. The first thing I said that for us in Nasarawa State, we have seen the value in having an indigene who has risen to the very top in corporate leadership, becoming our leader. The experiences you have gathered have impacted greatly, particularly at this period that we are supposed to be talking about you winding down, but you're working as if you are campaigning to be governor for the first time. They didn't know as much as that. Because I said you are the first governor from a major multinational corporate leadership background to become a governor. The second thing I told them is that you're the first governor to, we have been saying Nasarawa state of solid minerals, but you are the one that actually put the solid mineral on the ground that we can touch and feel. So you are the first governor to aggressively position Nasarawa State as Nigeria's solid mineral hub. We are talking today about is it lithium? I don't know who can compete with us. We're also talking about Bairat. We're talking about so many resources that God has blessed our land. Yet, nobody has really been able to make us see the impact. And we can see them in industries springing up here and there. We can see them in employment that are impacting some of our people. We can also see them in the quality of visitors that come in with investment. The third thing I told them is that you are the first governor to establish a structured investment promotion drive. Your Excellency, you remember you hosted us during your last investment summit. We had a study group from the NIPR. Is that it gave us the opportunity to be in better position to advise other governors and the best way to drive industrialization. What is most exciting, and I always tell them, is that the person you have appointed to coordinate our investment promotion entity is a young man, and a young man who is well trained, a young man that most of my colleagues know before now. Where's the MD? Where is MD? So that they can, that's the MD of our Nasarawa investment promotion. Please put your hands together for him, because he has justified the confidence His Excellency has reposed. I don't know, I want to say those of us, the younger ones. I'm almost 60 now. But His Excellency has given me quite a number of years, so I'm still younger ones. The fourth thing I mentioned is that the style of governance, and this is why you see that you easily connect with the president. Your approach is the same in terms of matching how you do things that we do normally with your corporate background. I will reveal a secret to you. The president was my classmate from 100 level to 400 level at Unidos. His business mindedness has been there from day one. His desire to impact has been there from day one. And he's somebody that doesn't get tired. And so when you see the Director of Public Relations saying we have really leapfrogged, the truth is the same approach of running a public institution like as if it is business. And so no resources are left to waste. No area is left untouched as far as ensuring that we impact the people that we're leading is concerned. So I want to thank you, Your Excellency. I also want to thank the President for connecting readily. We are today going to have a proper patron, particularly that is my state. And that means that this is just the beginning. On the 20th of November 2026, when we hope to inaugurate the University of Public Relations and Leadership, we will again gather youth from all over the world to come and discuss what is the future of strategic communication in terms of impacting leadership. That would not have been possible, but for the support and understanding of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State. We are very happy to have you today here. Mr. President, my governor is here now.
We'd like to thank the Vice President. Thank you so very much for your kind words about His Excellency. And also the very good things he said about the President. So I'd like to recognize one of our very distinguished daughters, mothers, and every child in public relations, Professor Lantana Ahmed. She's also here with us. She has been a member of council.
Yawa san NIPR zone. Yeah, I thought it's at this point after the vice president. Okay, yeah, sure. Before the vice president. Well done. You read the list, there are three of them. Yeah, I'm seeing the list. I didn't know so much about Hello? Hello?
Hello. Would like to apologize for the break in transmission. At this point, I would like to call for goodwill messages, and I'd like to first invite the Director of Public Relations, Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation. He also happens to be the chairman of the National Planning Committee for NIPR, World Public Relations Forum that will be holding in November. Nigeria, NIPR will be hosting 126 countries here in Abuja. He is the chairman, Dr. Suleiman Haruna, the Director of Public Relations, Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, who will give us a brief goodwill message.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, members of the Executive Council of Nasarawa State, the President of the NIPR, the Vice President of the NIPR, our fathers that are here with us, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I work for the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, which is a partner organization for the establishment of the University of Public Relations and Leadership. This university is driven primarily by the NIPR and Nasarawa State government, and is fully supported by the federal government of Nigeria. Is supported through the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation. If not for the timing of this event, it's very likely that the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation will be here with us. But like they say in Nigerian parlance, the council members, esteemed fellows, members of the Institute, let me also recognize you. It is with pleasure and pride that I extend warm felicitations on this auspicious occasion of honoring His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State and Patron, can I use that word, of the Nigeria Institute of Public Relations. Your Excellency, sir, your visionary leadership and unwavering commitment have elevated this noble partnership between NIPR and the Nasarawa State government to remarkable heights. The groundbreaking for the University of Public Relations and Leadership, the world's first institution dedicated to excellence in public relations communication and leadership, stands as a testament to your progressive governance and dedication to human capital development. By funding and hosting this landmark project at Gudi, Nasarawa State, this has positioned Nigeria as a global beacon in strategic communication and ethical leadership. The Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation is proud to partner in this transformative initiative, which aligns with our national agenda to foster informed citizenship, combat misinformation, and build institutional capacity for effective public engagement. May this investiture inspire a greater collaboration, innovation, and service to our dear nations. Congratulations once again, Your Excellency. Long live the NIPR, long live Nasarawa State Government, and long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was Dr. Suleiman Haruna, Director of Public Relations in the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation. I would now like to invite Professor Vincent Aniboku, International Director General, Institute for National Transformation and Advisor to the Cabinet Government of National Orientation and Transformation. Professor Vincent Anibokwa to come and deliver his goodwill message. Is Professor? Yes, it is. Can we make welcome Professor?
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, the President of NIPR, the Vice President, the Council members, our real fathers, we appreciate you. My name is Professor Vincent Anibokwa. I'm the Director General of Institute for National Transformation. In fact, I came from Uganda because I work with the government of Uganda the last few years. Your Excellency, first of all, let me congratulate you. The incredible enabling environment you are creating in Nasarawa State. My very good friend, Professor John Kennedy Obara, is my very special friend. And thank you for all the support and allowing Agro Processing Center in Nasarawa State. Congratulations, sir. I want to congratulate NPR for recognizing prominent people that we must work with and encourage. Whether we like it or not, the world is heading in a very turmoil direction. Nations that are not strategic in this season, in intentionally developing leaders and putting together the right policy, are going to face many challenges. And so I want to again challenge NPR to continue to foster strategic leaderships that will make Nigeria great. Last night, incidentally, I took time to study the National Intelligence Council report of the United States. They have tried to look in the future to see what does the future look like. They put out a report in 2008 that predicted what the world will look like by the year 2025. Lo and behold, we are in 2025 and everything they say has happened. They put out another report predicting what 2030 will look like. In fact, we are almost experiencing what they predicted. And I was looking at their report, what the year 2070 will look like. In fact, what I saw kept me awake all night. Because I keep asking myself, is Nigeria ready for the year 2050? Are we ready for the year 2070? Are we preparing the kind of people that can keep Nigeria independent, strong? And I can tell you, from what I see on the ground, we have a lot of work to do. So I want to encourage NPR, please be deliberate. This university you are building must not be a certificate-driven university. It cannot be. That model has failed us. We are producing graduates that cannot produce anything. Then you must produce graduates that will solve real problems. If we can do that, then we are positioning Nigeria not only to live up to her name, but even to lead Africa to the future. Your Excellency, congratulations again. We wish you all the best. And we pray you will continue to create an enabling environment where the best of the best can come to Nasarawa State. Congratulations, sir.
I think the professor deserves more. A round of applause. Thank you so very much. Very insightful, very illuminating, the kind of world we should envisage. Yes, indeed. He is International Director General, Institute for National Transformation, and advisor to the Ugandan government on national orientation and transformation. We'll take the last goodwill message and a plea from our host. I would like to invite Ambassador Dapo Oyewole, the Secretary General Conference of Speakers and Presidents of African Parliament, who is hosting us here to kindly come and give a very brief goodwill message. You're most warmly welcome.
Thank you very much indeed. Your Excellency, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, our eminent royal fathers, Dr. Ike Nelyaku, the President and Chairman of Council of NIPR, and of course the ever so graceful Mrs. Nelyaku, fellows, members, associates of NIPR, members of the National Assembly, heads of parastatals, particularly my friend and brother, the DG of NASIDA, the Nasarawa State Investment and Development Agency, members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very, very good afternoon to you all. I must say, this is a fantastic way to start the week. It's an omen that the rest of the week is going to be constructive and productive. My name is Dapo Oyewole. I wear a few hats today. First, as the Secretary General of the Conference of Speakers and Presidents of African Legislatures, which is the umbrella body of speakers and presidents of Senates across the entire continent of Africa. I also wear another hat as the Senior Special Assistant to Mr. President on international cooperation. And I've also been given another responsibility of representing the Chairman of the Leadership Advancement Foundation, Mr. Professor, I beg your pardon, Anya. And as I was coming up to the stage, a very important point was made, whispered into my ear with class and elegance by a great mentor of mine. And she said, everyone that has come to the podium have been men. There are women in the room as well. So with your permission, ma'am, may I also represent the women as well? You are well represented. And by the way, you have been doing this for a while because I have 5 sisters as well, and an only son. Your Excellencies, today is indeed a wonderful day, and you are most welcome to the Secretariat of COSCO. It is delightful to see our halls filled with so many brilliant, eminent, and distinguished people to celebrate a very important occasion. I must say that the work of NIPR in today's world is exceptionally critical, especially in a world where your image and your reputation is a currency. Carefully, strategically, and professionally, and that is indeed the important national service that NIPR provides to our great country, Nigeria. A round of applause for NIPR, please. It was said earlier that today is an historical day. It is indeed an historic day, with investiture of His Excellency, the Governor of Nasarawa State, as a patron of NIPR. But it's also historic for us here at COSCO, because this is the first time we have the first, he is the first executive governor to visit our secretariat. Your Excellency, there will be many more governors to visit, but it is recorded in history today that you're the first sitting governor to visit COSCO Secretariat, and you keep on breaking boundaries and breaking records. Thank you for visiting us and for being here today, sir. Your Excellency, your story itself is a masterclass in the power of image, determination, and purposeful communication. From Goody Station in Akwanga to the boardroom of Indiana State University, from the executive force of the African Petroleum PLC to the helm of Dangote Sugar Refinery, and ultimately to the highest office of your state, Nasarawa, you have lived what we can only call a life of excellence. Since your assumption of office in May 2019, I believe, you have steadily distinguished yourself as a governor who governs with the mindset of an engineer. And of course, my father was an engineer as well. And it is known that when engineers are doing anything, they do it with excellence, with precision, and with attention to detail. Your Excellency, this is exactly how you have governed. As a patron of NIPR, your role will be far more than a ceremonial one. You will serve as a living embodiment of the values NIPR champions, the values of transparency, integrity, ethical communication, and the responsible management of public trust. In an era of misinformation and disinformation, sir, where public confidence in leadership is hard won and easily lost, the symbolism of having a sitting governor voluntarily aligning himself with the work of an institution like NIPR is one to be celebrated. We celebrate you today, sir. Your Excellency, we thank you for your leadership, and we congratulate you on your investiture as patron of NIPR. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, Mr. President. Congratulations, NIPR. And I must say, congratulations, Nigeria. Thank you very much indeed.
Your Excellency, in this place, you will find orators, you will find wordsmiths, and you will also find the blessings of royal fathers as well. But at this point, we'd like to call on the chairman, Algon, Honorable Sefian, to please come and say a word before we invite our royal father to cap off this particular segment. Excellency, our leader, our principal, our mentor, Abdullahi Sule, Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, the Right Honorable Speaker of Nasarawa State as Assembly, whom the Deputy Speaker is standing for. Your Royal Highness is my father, the President, Nigeria Institute of Public Relations, and other members of the institution. Your Excellency, permit me for all of time to stand already established culture. I'm in a feast where you have this nature of involvement, this caliber of people that speak before me. The orators that I said a lot before me. But I stand here on behalf of the people of Nasarawa State to appreciate the institution in collaboration with my leader, my father, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, and indeed the Nasarawa State government for bringing a good team to Nasarawa State, in particular the body of the local government. Excellency, let me say in public here, that your leadership style that has been provided in Nasarawa State is so exceptional. Your infrastructure development in the state. Your Excellency, for barely 6-7 years in office, but indeed you changed the development of Nasarawa State. I want to say that Nasarawa have never had it like this. Your Excellency, sometimes as vibrant as I am as a youth, but I sit down and imagine and wonder how you cope. And more, I think, energetic were you, considering the age. But it is a bit more energy than some of the Nasarawa State. Your Excellency, your performance in Nasarawa State cannot be expected. Ours is to continue to give you the support. Ours is to continue to rally around you to ensure that by God's grace, you finish your successful tenure as Nasarawa State governor. Let me use this very to appreciate each and everyone that comes from home for this support, solidarity, love, and care. Thank you very much. Thank you so very much. His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule, often when you engage him, you would say he is privileged to have both his mom and his dad alive, and that they really pray for him. Now, if you look at Nasarawa State, one very unique aspect of governance in Nasarawa State is we have a female Chief Justice, we have a female head of service, we have commissioners, all very beautiful ones. They all get the finance, everything, for us. He is very pro-female. And in fact, at a point in time, he told us before he cuts off governance, we're going to have a female pansec in government house. As it is, his respect for females is such that His Excellency has said, chauvinistic males should not just be speaking on through. We need to call our mothers, one of them to bless this occasion. And I think he's duly right. Our mother, a woman who herself is an institution in public relations, with resonance, with intellect, with acumen, with personality. Hajia Nari Tumaka, a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, would speak, but because His Excellency, not publicity, because His Excellency respects women, he said that I should allow her to speak. I'm going to take the microphone to her, and she would sit down and she would address us, because the song Sweet Mother. I know we'll forget. I will keep it.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, sir, it is an honor and a privilege to speak at this occasion. I must tell you, I'm one person that admires you. I was in Nasarawa, and there was something you said that left an indelible mark in my heart. When you said you did not know where the money for the university was going to come from, but you did something. You saved some money, which none of your commissioners, nobody knew anything about it. And God gave you the wisdom to take out of that money to start the university. I mean, that is quite instructive. And everywhere I've sat, I have told people just how wonderful, how successful you are, and we admire and respect you for that. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my President, Dr. Ikenya, Vice President, Council members, women, are you here? Women, are you here? Yes, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to say a word. I am hosting, my committee and I are hosting the International Women's Day on the 30th. Your Excellency, sir, this is for you. We are hosting the International Women's Day for the first time. This is the first time NIPR is hosting this International Women's Day, and it is on the 30th of this month at the National Counter Security Center, Office of the National Security Advisor. So we are inviting you to be our special guest of honor. We have heard that you love us women, you love your mother, your sisters, and your wives. You love women. So your Excellency and your daughters, and we love you too. We love you too, Your Excellency. So this is an open invitation for you to grace that event. I can assure you, you will not regret being part of that event on that day. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you so very much, ma'am, for your participation, for your blessing. Thank you. I'd now like to call on Representative Akintunde Rotimi, spokesperson of the House of Representatives, the Honorable spokesperson of the House of Representatives. So please can we give him a rousing round of applause? Thank you so very much for coming towards this.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here. I bring you warm greetings from the House of Representatives Speaker, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin. I'm here with my colleague. I can see Representative Jeremiah Umaru, who is the Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Public Affairs. Your Excellency, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, I greet you very warmly. On behalf of the entire House of Representatives, we're extremely proud of the work that you're doing, Mr. President of Council, Vice President Council, Council members, body of fellows, members of the Nasarawa State Executive Council here present, and all our guests here today. Of course, the President of COSCO and all members here today. I greet you very warmly and bring you warm greetings from the House of Representatives. Of course, we're delighted to be associated with this event today. When I first heard of the initiative that the Governor of Nasarawa, His Excellency Abdullahi Sule, was taking the initiative to invest in the emerging generation of public relations experts, because that is what you're doing. You can see our president is very intentional about successors, building the successor generation. He's very intentional about ensuring that the professional institute gives birth to the next generation of public relations professionals that will contribute to nation building. I heard about it and I thought, okay, well, politicians make promises a lot. So I had already told my governor to be on standby. My governor in the state, because he's a visionary as well, is your friend and colleague, Governor Biodo Ibanji, that just in case this turns out to be another politician making promises, just be on standby. So if Nasarawa doesn't follow through with their promise, we'll bring it to Ekiti State. But we thank God that this turned out not to be just political rhetoric. You have proven to be a man of your words, a man of vision, and a man that is very intentional about ensuring that you leave a lasting legacy. You've done this not just for the state, not just for Nigeria, but for the profession. And I'm deeply grateful because I belong to this profession. I'm a proud member of NIPR as well. And I'm glad that you've done this to be able to ensure that the professional practice of public relations is sustained in Nigeria across the generations. I'm extremely delighted to also hear that you're very intentional about gender equity. It's a very good thing, and I thank you very much. And I'm sure that right now, the only seats that I'm very sure that I'll openly canvass for is my brother, to ensure that he comes back, Jeremiah Osegi. But I know that you're going to be very intentional as well about ensuring that we reach the gender gap in our parliament. As it is, of course, we know that there's an abysmal representation of women in government. We know that we've done well in terms of appointive posts, but we believe you'll also do well to also encourage our women in this next electoral cycle to have as many more seats. For us in the House of Representatives, we are advancing the special seats for women bill, and I'm using this opportunity to also canvass for that bill, but very soon we'll be voting on it, and I'm sure that His Excellency will also ensure that Nasarawa delivers the votes when that bill comes up, both in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming, and on behalf of the House of Representatives, we celebrate you today, we salute your courage, and we ensure that in any way that the House of Representatives can work with NIPR to ensure that this legacy is sustained, you can count on us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Can we give them a round of applause? Your Excellency. Thank you so very much. Your Excellencies and National President, the President of the NIPR, distinguished fellows, ladies and gentlemen, the investiture is actually a structured event. We will soon go back to the formal part of the structure, but before we do that, we'll now crave your indulgence to respectfully invite His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kefi, on behalf of the Chairman, as well as the entire members of the Nasarawa Council, which is Dr. Sheikh Chief to bless
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellency, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, and I would like to abide by all the protocol that has been in motion. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, we in the Council of Chiefs and the Chairman of our State were deeply honored and highly delighted to associate ourselves with this program, because what they are trying to do is to honor our government, and I'm sure our wish is to know who is ASU. If they know, I think this Patron will be upgraded to Grand Patron. I have many reasons to say this. He is going to be your host in Bude, and for life, he's going to be there. And he's always going to accept. So please, I think the associations look into this, my request. And Professor Engr has been my colleague in the university. I was thinking that they are going to tell the president who is ASU, but you have not done that.
I told you, brother.
So we are happy with this moment. The entire Nasarawa state are happy. Engineer Abdullahi Sule has spread his thunderbolts in the entire Nasarawa state. And because of that, we gave him the opportunity to choose where which airline zone he wants to take over. I will repeat that. So, Your Excellency, we wish you the best of luck. And I pray you perform to the best of your ability to this association. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum.
His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kefi, Dr. Sheikh Sule, Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard from the Royal Father. Before I have the singular honor to invite the President of the NIPR, I would like to give you a very important announcement. We earlier on mentioned that Nigeria, indeed the NIPR, Nigeria will be hosting 126 countries in November. 126 countries will be coming to Nigeria in November, from November 15th to the 22nd. They will come only to Abuja and to Nasarawa State. They will be coming, and it is called the NIPR, World Public Relations Forum. The World Public Relations Forum has as its aim responsible communication, the voice of the world. Today we live in a world where people say all sorts of things, and we're heading into a political campaign season. We want that people should learn how to speak to each other. And that is why the entire world will congregate in Nigeria. This Nigeria, which is a home of kingdoms and empires, for them to see our culture, rediscover this country, and talk to the rest of the world that leadership is not flippancy. Leadership is intentional, and leadership has to do with constructive communication. We'd like to take a break, an NIPR intern, for you to see our message for the NIPR.
I have this singular honor and privilege to unveil the world publications for NIPR 2026 to the world.
From Africa to the world, say Nigeria opens the golden gate. Ideas go alive and stories unite. Common relation.
Nigeria for WBRN Abuja 2026. Africa will give to the world the biggest, brightest, boldest congregation. Together we rise.
Thank you so very much. So kindly register, make sure you're here to welcome others that are coming to Nigeria. In NIPR, you have spokespersons, you have communication experts, you have orators, you're seeing orators, wordsmiths, people who write and speak eloquently, some even grandiloquently. And you will find as in Mark Antony of Julius Caesar, you have the Ciceros, you have Martin Luther King, the Winston Churchill, the Mahatma Gandhi. The president of the NIPR, Dr. Ike Neliako, is a cross between Winston Churchill, Mark Antony, and Cicero. He is the leading public relations personality who embodies, personifies public relations in Nigeria. It's my single honor and privilege to now go back to the original proceedings and invite the president of the NIPR and chairman, governing council, Director of Engr and FNIPR to come and deliver his speech. Mr. President.
Your Excellency, our fathers, royal fathers, my council members, fellows, distinguished colleagues, I must start by acknowledging that this lectern is biased. It's not very inclusive because it looks like it is particularly prepared for His Excellency the Governor because of his height advantage. So those of us who are aspiring to be tall find out that if you are not there, you may not see my face. Your Excellency, we are very delighted to be here today. And I would like to welcome my sister who came all the way from Orlando, Florida, United States, to be with us this afternoon, Professor Sule. Thank you, man. This is for you to know that you are loved home and abroad. We are here today to perform a very significant function, to investiture a distinguished patron of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. This exercise is not in futility. It is in fulfillment of our statutes, particularly to play our role as monitors of threats. We have been monitoring what is going on in Nasarawa State. To play our role as managers of perception. We have been listening to what people are saying about the governor of Nasarawa State. To play our role as builders of reputation, which is a very core asset. If the government does not have reputation, you will not see us here. To play our role as sustainers of goodwill, because we know the importance of goodwill. To play our role as promoters of understanding. Without understanding, we cannot be talking about relationship. To play our role as mediators and facilitators of reconciliation. And more importantly, to play our role as promoters of national integration. That is what relationship is all about. Your Excellency, we acknowledge you as a leader of considerable vision and foresight. We deeply appreciate you, the people and government of Nasarawa State, for your immense support to the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. For the records, you accepted to partner with the Institute. As a matter of fact, you brought out your chest to take the bullet for Nigeria to excel in two most significant global reputation projects in 2026. In particular, you saw from afar as a visionary leader, and you promised with NIPR towards the hosting of the World Public Relations Forum in Abuja. A 3,000 world thought leaders and reputation icons in communication, policy making, business, culture, education, coming from over 126 member countries of the Global Alliance for Public Relations and Communication Management. To understand it very well, these are people that advise presidents. These are people that advise leaders of large corporations, tell them where to go, what to do, how to relate, and so on. They are coming to Nigeria, which means Nigeria is going to be the center point of global communication. We are going to be telling the world what it means to practice responsible communication. Where you have responsible communication, crisis ceases. Where crisis ceases, peace comes in. When peace comes in, development takes place. When development takes place, people rejoice. When people rejoice, society celebrates. When society celebrates, then you will have cohesion. That's what we are doing for our country. And that's what the governor is doing in Nasarawa State. So, to put it in context, we are not just hosting the global world. We are also hosting the 37th edition of the African Public Relations Association Conference. This is the second time in Africa that WPRF is coming to our continent. But more importantly, this is the first time Africa will be hosting both the World Public Relations Forum and the Conference of African Public Relations Association. So we are making history as the first in Africa to do so. More importantly, Mr. Governor and our patron-elect, your foresight took you beyond the ceremonials. Because for some people, for some leaders, they like ceremonials. They like to play to the gallery. But in your own case, you left the ceremonials for the legacy. That legacy is what will now arise from the Public Relations Forum. What do I mean? You are accepted on behalf of Nasarawa State Government to host the very first in the World Public Relations University and Leadership, which we said earlier. This is being established in partnership with the Global Alliance for Public Relations and Communication Management, Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Leadership Advancement Foundation. By the way, sir, I want to bring you the best wishes of Professor Anya O. Anya, the chairman of Leadership Advancement Foundation. He would have been with us this afternoon, but he said his son, Ambassador Yewole, should stand in for him. But I should personally give you his best wishes and that they appreciate what you have done. Because we are fact finders, not praise singers. Because facts speak for us, not emotions. Therefore, we searched on the ground and we saw the transformative work you have done across Nasarawa State. As a matter of fact, you have touched the 3 senatorial zones. We are not politicians. So whether there is opposition or position, we don't know. We have one political party that we are supporting. That party is the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. And that is the party that says it as it is. So we have seen. Therefore, what you have done in the 3 senatorial zones of the state is very touching. To situate our assertions within the context of scientific interrogations so that we understand very well. You may recall, Your Excellency, that in 2004, the Institute conducted an independent state of subnational reputation perception governance survey to determine how governors are performing in all the states of the Federation. In that independent study, among all the 36 states of the Federation, Nasarawa State had a weak score of 30.4% overall. We drew your attention to this result and went further to highlight areas of shortcomings of your administration. I recall very clearly your face. You did not show anger as some people would want to, but in your characteristic humble nature, you explained the challenges you faced at the time with funding to make sure that what ought to be done must be done. Distinguished royal fathers, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency did exactly what he said he was going to do. 2 years after, in 2006, we conducted the second independent reputation perception governance survey of Nasarawa State. The survey was conducted without the knowledge nor input of anyone from Nasarawa state government. So it's not as if we were talking, nobody knew we were doing this. We had to do it because for us, your integrity is your account to anything that you want to ask for. And somebody told me that integrity is a strong resource. Whenever it is in red, it is like your bank account being in red. So we guide it very jealously. We didn't want a station whereby anybody will want to influence what we are doing. So we went ahead and conducted the second research to help us know if this is the right time to do what we are doing. I am delighted to say that the perception survey that was done recently saw to the, everybody wants to know. We saw, what do you think we should see? Who are that? Okay, we saw a rating that went up from 30.4% in 2024 to 83.6% in 2026. It was at this point that the governing council said, well, we can now go to town because we have something to hold and defend. And I will explain why we had to. What that says to us is that you may have started weak, sir, because of the challenges of the time, but you are finishing very strong. From weak to excellent band ratio is no small achievement to be recorded in 2 years. From what we see as monitors and analyzers of trends, it is very clear for us to predict that you will eventually finish globally stronger after hosting delegates of World Public Relations Forum. And more particularly, after the inauguration of the first in the World University of Public Relations and Leadership in November 2026 in Nasarawa State. It is for these and other facts that we have gathered here this afternoon to perform the investiture of the Governor of Nasarawa State as Patron of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Let me quickly add that from our records, the Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, will be the first as governor in Nigeria to be bestowed with the highest honor so far in the institute, and that is occupying the rank of fellow and office of Patron at the same time. As I conclude, I would like to properly situate the event of today in its appropriate context for better appreciation. According to NIPR laws, only governors are to be conferred as patrons, but the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the Grand Patron. So that answers what His Highness was asking for. But if that is your prayer, so while we have 36 state governors, only a handful have been invested as patrons. This means that it is strictly on merit, guided by performance, guided by reputation, guided by the ability to manage relationship. I'm sure that you know that these three are represented in Governor Abdullahi Sule superlatively. From Nasarawa, we will proceed to Kaduna for the 3rd Nigerian Public Relations Week and 64th Annual General Meeting of the Institute, where over 2,000 delegates will converge from all over the world again to discuss the imperatives of food security in Nigeria, the Imperatrice of Public Relations. At that event, your brother, the governor of Kaduna State, Governor Basani, will join you as a patron of the institute. But the difference is that you are now the senior. So you will be with us in Kaduna, sir, to invest him as patron, so that he knows that there are senior patrons and there are junior patrons. Only last week, we were in Cross River State, where the governor of Cross River was invested as patron, and he was rejoicing and saying we should tell Dr. Obasani that he will be able to invest him as a junior patron. We didn't want to tell him about you, so that he will send us to you. Distinguished guests, as they say in my place, long sermon is not good at evening service. So let me now yield the floor to invite Mrs. Priscilla Anienena to present just highlights of the 2026 State of Reputation, Perception and Governance Report of Nasarawa State, which was conducted by an independent organization. She will just speak to the highlights, and thereafter we will continue with the business of the day. Thank you for your attention. God bless you all.
Thank you very kindly, sir. Good afternoon, Your Excellencies, traditional rulers, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Perception, they say, is reality.
Sorry, I forgot something. I forgot to actually say that my wife has been very, very supportive. If I have been doing well, please give her the credit. Any area I have not done well, hold me responsible. Thank you very much.
That is a he for she. Is that celebrated once again? Thank you very kindly, sir. Perception, they say, is reality in the eyes of the people. However, reputation is the currency of influence. It is not just soft asset. It directly influences trust, loyalty, and of course, economic performance. In today's digital age, perception is shaped faster, spreads wider, and of course, lasts longer than ever before. This is reflected in the reputation perception of Nasarawa State. And the findings is, this research was conducted using the quantitative method of CAW, that is computer-assisted web interviewing, and also the 5 Likert scale referencing. We had a total of 1,135 respondents from the 30 local government areas in Nasarawa State. And we look at the framework, the 7 pillars. Also, when you look at it cumulatively, each of the framework would have leadership, performance, credibility, innovation, communication, social equity, and culture. And overall, when you sum up the figure, it would result to 100%. And we realize that leadership, performance, I beg your pardon, we realize that leadership, performance, credibility, innovation were actually rated higher based on our findings. Communication as well. However, social equity and culture still high, but then relatively low. So 2 years ago, like Mr. President earlier mentioned, Nasarawa State was actually below average, which is on the poor trust fund. However, with the recent research conducted, we have moved from the poor trust fund to an excellent trust fund. Thank you. Yes, so that has, thank you so much. So basically, this cannot be achieved without the support, not just the governor, but everyone that honored us to the respondents to this research. You can see that the cumulative score for the reputation perception of Nasarawa State currently is at 83.6, leaving it at an excellent trust band. No longer on a poor trust band, but excellent. Thank you, media. So when you look critically at each of the pillar, now this is independent respondent, right? So you see that the culture, the social equity, the communication, the innovation, the credibility, they are all at 84%, which is still also excellent trust band, as well as the performance and leadership. And this further addresses the fact that was earlier mentioned by the Director General of Communication Strategies that Nasarawa State has inclusive leadership and women are well represented. Now this invariably shows, the growth from 30.4, which is a poor trust band, to 83.6, an excellent trust band. Now when we looked at each of the local government areas, you have the Away, you have the Lafia, Nasarawa, Apanga, Kau, Doma, Kokona. We also have the Obi, sorry, but it's not so there. We have the Nasarawa Egon, we have the Wamba, we have the Toto, and we also have the Nasarawa Egon. The Great River. So we can see that there is a great reversal, right? So in this great reversal, we realize that perception is not just numbers, it is reality. It is how Nasarawa State is being perceived by the stakeholders. You would also realize that there is already a huge growth. The margin is actually commendable. Thank you, media. And this is just a teaser. This is not the full report because we may not have enough time to take us through the full report. However, what should we expect from the full report? Number one, which single pillar recorded the highest perception surge in the RPI history? Secondly, what is one governance factor that drives improvement across every other dimension? Thirdly, how do youth, that's 18 to 25, women and rural community perceive governance? Is it different or is it the same with the other? What specific watch point could unravel the transformation if left unaddressed? Just like Mr. President earlier mentioned, that the earlier report for 2024 was taken to His Excellency, and he did not frown. He instead took up the challenge to improve on the report. Now, what must Nasarawa do in the next 90 days to protect and institutionalize this game? Because as much as reputation is shaped faster, it's also lost faster as well. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just at this point, I would like to also inform us that this report is brought to you by the Reputation Perception Services in partnership with the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. And we must say congratulations to His Excellency, the fellow Nigerian Institute of Public Relations and fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, His Excellency Governor of Nasarawa State. We're referring to Engineer Abdullahi Sule. We celebrate our value. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. At this point, we're going through the last few rounds of the structure of the formal investiture. So it's my singular honor and privilege to invite the registrar of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations to please step forward and formally take over this very important aspect for which we are gathered here. Can we give the registrar a round of welcome, please?
Thank you, Abdullahi. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, FNIPR. Mr. President, the purpose of this gathering is the investiture of Patron of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Nasarawa State Chapter, in line with provisions of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations Act, Cap N114, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, LFN 2004, Bylaw number 2, Section 4, which provides as follows: that the state governor will be patron of the institute in each state of the federation, and only the president of the institute will induct the governor as a patron of the institute. It is therefore my honor and privilege to invite the chairman of Nasarawa State Chapter, Controller Joseph Atta, FNIPR, to present the proposal for investiture, and thereafter the state orator to read the citation of the patron designates. Mr. Chairman, please.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, President, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Vice President, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, the Deputy Speaker, Nasarawa State House of Assembly, our royal fathers, chiefs of federal establishment here present, members of the National Assembly here present, illustrious sons and daughters of Nasarawa State here present, and of course, principal staff officers of the government of Nasarawa State here present. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is not a structured professional program, all that have been said here would have been enough for the investiture. But because it's a professional program, there is a need for a formal proposal. In my position as the chairman of the Nasarawa State Chapter, it becomes my duty, a duty I proudly want to discharge. Maybe the best place to start is to say, welcome to Nasarawa State, the global headquarters of Nasarawa Public Relations. We are the emerging global headquarters of public relations. Mr. President, council members, fellows, professional colleagues, and dignitaries here present, let me start by saying our proposed candidate is a leader who already believes and is deeply committed to the possibilities that NIPR presents. His name is His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State. He was first sworn in as a governor on the 29th May 2019. And after 4 years of progressive leadership He was re-elected for a second term in 2023. His leadership vision is centered on sustainable development, industrial growth, and inclusive governance. Coming from the business sector, his leadership has continued to promote public-private partnership as exemplified by the partnership between the Nasarawa State Government and NIPR in the establishment of the world-class University of Public Relations and Leadership, the first of its kind in the world. His policies are investment-friendly. Presently in Nasarawa State, both mining and agricultural sectors are undergoing modernization. Infrastructural development through road construction is fast connecting urban centers to rural areas in the state. His legacy projects of flyover, underpass, and model secretariat have all added up to his distinguished pedigree in governance and public service. It is imperative to state that our proposed patron is a security-conscious leader who, given the proximity of the state to crisis-prone areas, places emphasis on crisis resolution, collaboration with security agencies, and community-based skills-building efforts. He recognizes and supports strategic communication as a core component of his administration. Virtually all members of his information team are members of NIPR. From the Commissioner of Information to the Permanent Secretary to our dear DG Strategic Communication to the CPS and many others around him, including one whose prowess for anchoring programs has already earned her a name, the microphone governor. They are all members of NIPR. The state chapter of NIPR thrives on monthly allocation, which he graciously approved. I don't know how many governors allocate funds to NIPR chapters. In view of his exemplary leadership and his support for institutional partnership that advance the ideas of this profession, it is both fitting and honorable that His Excellency be considered for investiture as the patron of this institution. At this junction, may I, Comptroller Joseph Oboshi Ata, FNIPR, Chairman, Nasarawa State Chapter, formally propose that His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule, FNIPR, be considered for the distinguished position of the patron of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. I so propose.
Thank you very much, Chairman of Nasarawa State Chapter, Dr. Joseph Naza. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite the orator of the state, DG Strategic Communication, the Office of the Governor, my senior brother, Mala Yakubu, please.
Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we would like to invite His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi to kindly rise for his citation, please. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, President, Chairman of Government Council, fellows, you may be seated. It's my single honor and privilege to read the citation from the NIPR on His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule. His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule is an uncommon patriot and a person who lives by the creed, total and unwavering commitment to the people and service to the people. His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule studied mechanical technology from Indiana State University and later obtained an MSc in industrial technology from the same university in Nasarawa, United States of America. He has over 30 years experience in the oil and gas, steel production, and sugar industries of the United States of America and Nigeria. His Excellency is a person who has always been practical in his orientation from his tutelage as a student of Government Technical College, Engr, to the time he went to obtain his BSc in Mechanical Engineering, his MSc in Industrial Technology from Indiana State University. And thereafter he became an oil man, drilling for oil from Texas to most parts of Europe. Engineer Sule returns to Nigeria in the year 2000, and he helped to set up and become the permanent managing director, MD of Sadiq Petroleum, after which, on the 2nd of April 2001, 24 years ago, Abdullahi Sule was appointed by the Board of African Petroleum, APPLC, as its 4th managing director and CEO. Whereupon, Engineer Sule inherited a highly indebted African Petroleum PLC, which had its share capital eroded and was surviving on the brink of a negative balance sheet of over 26 billion naira. Engineer Sule worked tirelessly for 5 years in making what will later be referred to as the historic turnaround of African petroleum, such that by the time Engineer A.A. Sule resigned from AP in July 2006, AP, African Petroleum PLC, posted a positive balance sheet of 5 billion naira. Engineer Abdullahi Sule is, by nature, a prudent manager of new resources, who since becoming a governor on the 29th of May 2019, has been able to exalt his personal values of accountability, probity, transparency, inclusivity, and the fear of God in order to propel Nasarawa State from the backwaters as an agrarian enclave to become Nigeria's new investment frontier and one among the top 3 most competitive states in Nigeria. Engineer Abdullahi Sule is a practical-oriented, rare-breed politician and a technocrat and a patriot, one who came prepared to work as a governor. He came armed with his own original economic blueprint called the Nasarawa Economic Development Strategy, NEDS, and so in almost 7 years, Engineer Abdullahi Sule has remained inspirational, innovative, bold, and building institutions, and also rising to a hallmark of personal example as a political leader of virtue and wisdom. Today, Engineer Abdullahi Sule has successfully leveraged and invest globally to move Nasarawa State from the backwaters of agreement potential to the very edge of glory because Nasarawa State, under the watch of the engineer, has taken its rightful place in the fore as a forerunner and one among the three most important states in the country. Today, Engineer Abdullahi Sule is a model of exemplary approach to good governance, a practical achiever, and one who is a worthy leader, one whose life lessons and achievements deserve to be integrated into the civic education of upcoming politicians as a way to inculcate patriotism in emerging politicians, and one whose legacy, even after he leaves office, will hopefully create a ripple effect of sacrifice and commitment to good governance and the pursuit of excellence. To friends and to foe and to opposition alike, Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State keeps flying high. He flies not too close to the sun or the heat to burn his skin. He flies not too low to the ground for the ocean waters to dampen his feathers. As the saying goes, Engineer Abdullahi Sule keeps transforming from glory to glory, and proving time and again that when an uncommon patriot is on the throne, when an uncommon patriot is on the throne, the people will always rejoice. It's my singular honor, Mr. President and Chairman Governing Council of the NIPR, to humbly present to you His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule for investiture. This recitation of his citation is the first part. Your Excellency, you may take your seat, and we have a second part of your introduction. You may kindly sit. Can we give him a round of applause? Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, for the next 5 minutes, we invite you to hear Engineer Abdullahi Sule up close and personal. Media video. Leadership has private sector and actually government. The leadership where we get the people to believe what they are doing, not what they are doing.
Very. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we seriously apologize for that glitch. The video will still be shown after the investiture. We have to move on. Mr. President, having been duly proposed by the Nasarawa State Government chapter of NIPR as a person fit to hold the esteemed position of a patron of NIPR, knowing that a patron of the Institute serves as a guiding light of NIPR in promoting our code of ethics, professional standards, and solemn commitment to create a more reputation-conscious society where the dignity and pride of all people and cultures in the land are respected. And now, with reverent humility and profound respect, invite the candidates, His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule, FNIPR, Executive Governor of Nasarawa, President, Chairman of NIPR Governing Council, may now perform. Mr. President, please.
May I invite the Vice President of the Institute and Council members to please join me. Council members. By the powers conferred on me as President, Chairman of Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, I, Dr. Ike Leliako, FNIPR, hereby invest you, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, as Patron of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, pursuant to NIPR Act N114, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, LFN 2004, bylaw number 2, section 4, this Monday, 23rd day of March 2026, with all the rights and privileges attached thereto. Congratulations. We will now go on to decorate the newest patron of NIPR in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. After the gown is followed by the medallion. After that, the lapels. These are instruments of authority. And finally, the plaque of office. Council members, come over here so that nobody will say I didn't. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Your Excellency. Thank you. I now have the privilege to hand over this letter to you so that you can perform your first task as patron of the institute in Kaduna, when you will now invest your brother governor of Kaduna State as your younger patron. So I hand over the letter. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll now take the response of His Excellency, the Governor of Nasarawa State. The President of NIPR, Dr. Ike Eliaku, fellow of the NIPR, and your dear wife, the Secretary General, the Conference of Speakers of the African Legislatures, Ambassador Rapo Oyewole, the Right Honorable Speaker, Nasarawa State House of Assembly, who is ably represented by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Mohammed Wayanki. Other members of the National Assembly, including my dear brother J.J. Umar, our Father, His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kefi, Dr. Sheikh Muchildo Yarosa III, and all our other dear royal fathers, the Aragon, the Oriental, Yesukam, and the Chumada. The Vice President of the NIPR, Professor Emmanuel Nandaura, and all our other council members who are here. The members of the Nasarawa State Executive Council, the Federal Commission, National Commission for Refugees, Migrant and Internally Displaced Persons, Honorable Ali Tijani, our special advisors, Secretary to the State Government, Chairman of Algon, and all the chairmen of the local government councils who are here. My other dear fellows and members of the NIPR, including my dear brother, the DG, Voice of Nigeria, my sisters here, Lami Chubaka and my dear sister Moji, former CEOs of federal establishments who are here, the former ED, National Primary Development,
National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, former chairman of the National Population Commission, Nasarawa, Architect Shehu Tukur, Major General S. Ibrahim, retired, my dear brother, Architect Sule M.D. Shelton, and other dear friends of ours who are here, I may not want to mention. Other distinguished sons and daughters of Nasarawa State who are coming in large numbers. Distinguished invited guests, distinguished members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I think first and foremost, let me apologize to our dear good people of Nasarawa State, especially our leaders, that this event is being held here in Abuja instead of in Nasarawa State. The reason being the kind of tight schedule we have. They were willing to come to Nasarawa State, but as you are aware, yesterday, most of us, the governors, were in Lagos to meet with Mr. President. After having a lunch, we had a lengthy meeting, especially on areas of security, which I wanted to be present. And also we had our usual lengthy meetings of governors in the night in preparation for our APC convention, which lasted until after 2 a.m. this morning. So I realized it was going to be difficult to make it to Lafia. So I pleaded with them if they will have the meeting here, and they agreed that we can have the investiture here in Abuja. And I'm happy our dear friend decided to donate the venue for the meeting. So I thank you so much. I also want to sincerely thank our royal fathers and all our dear friends, especially those who live here in Abuja. And I see all of you in large number that you have all turned out to be here in order to honor me. I want to thank you, and I'm not taking it for granted. Thank you so much. I also want to thank my dear brother, I don't know whether I can call him that, the president of NIPR, for finding me and as well as the council for these various positions that I have gotten, all the various titles that I have received. My contact with NIPR actually started because of some of the good sons of Nasarawa State who are members of NIPR. And I just wanted to know more about what NIPR was doing. And I realized that NIPR continues to promote leadership. Having worked in America for a very long time, having also worked partly in a couple of other countries because of my oil and gas exposure, I came to realize, just like one of the speakers who said he came from Uganda mentioned, that any country in the world that you have effective leadership, that country program. And that is the reason why I believe that leadership is one of the things that is required for Nigeria to excel, because all the potentials are there. So I developed the interest. I developed special interest in NIPR because of the fact that they are promoting, they are nurturing, and they are looking at leadership. So my first recognition at NIPR was at their 60th anniversary, because they just recently celebrated 60 years of establishment in Nigeria. In fact, Nigeria is as old as Professor Engr. So during the celebration of the 60 years, they found me worthy to receive the NIPR Leadership Prize. Leadership prize is different from leadership awards that we receive every day. Because when we talk about prize, we look at something like the Nobel Peace Prize, the Mo Ibrahim Prize, and of course the Zik Prize, which I'm happy to have received as a governor also of this prize. So awards are usually given in recognition of some kind of performance. The prizes are prestigious and they are highly respected honors. And they are given to reward strategic foresight, ethical leadership, and social impact. And that is the reason why I consider the leadership prize highly recommended. So I want to thank you first for the leadership prize, as if that was not enough. Like the president, as well as the vice president mentioned, recently, after our relationship on the university, I now receive the fellowship. I became a fellow of the NIPR. And that again is in recognition of so many other things, not just the relationship, but the effort that we have continued to put in. Like the president mentioned, I was sitting on my own, not looking for any NIPR program. And they came to me and said that Nasarawa State, after they carried out their study, scored 30%. And that's the time I was working like the world was going to come to an end. I was working head and toe, and they say it's only 30% that we scored. So, and I look at all the indices and all the things that they have indicated, they were correct. And so, if I was going to be honest with myself, probably I would not have given more than the 30% that they had given to us. Locally, and it is only locally that we use it from this moment, we have 18 in Nasarawa State. It's not just the work of Sule. In the area of security, we carry along our security agencies, our royal fathers, our youth, our religious leaders. Everybody is carried along. And every time I touch on the royal fathers, they are there. And that is the reason why Nasarawa today is one of the most peaceful states. So that's one area we touch and we make a comment. We look at our prospects and we realize that we have to come up with a law. For instance, in the area of our own solid minerals, Nigeria is so blessed that in every state of the federation you go, there are solid minerals. But the leadership provided and the ability to be able to come around and mine those solid minerals for the benefit of our people is what we are lacking. And so Nasarawa State, we came up with a law that says anybody who wants to mine in Nasarawa State must also process in Nasarawa State. And that's exactly what we have done. To today, the biggest lithium processing plant, the second biggest lithium processing plant in Nigeria, both of them situated in Nasarawa State. And so many others that are doing cobalt, lead, zinc, tin, and all being processed in Nasarawa State. In fact, we used to just go by my village and we saw your stones in our local government. We didn't know having an industry will be there. Because of this law, instead of now taking our stones out, they will go to the mine, they will mine the stones, they will now produce what we call the marble. So today, because it's a Chinese company, and those that constructed The airports in Lagos and Abuja are also Chinese companies, they patronize them. And as you walk now, as you are entering the international airport in Abuja, or you are entering the one in Lagos, you are marching on marble produced in Nasarawa State. So these are the things that we had to continue to do, and then we went into agriculture and did the same. So needless to say, we had to do things to improve. Therefore, if we have gone to 83%, I will say thank you very much for giving us that score because I think we deserve it. But more importantly are the people who have worked so hard, the good people of Nasarawa State, both young and old. I have seen you introducing Ibrahim. So that's the reason why Ibrahim has worked so hard now that they are doing what they call to serve. And they want to call him to be the governor if they want to do it. So those are the kinds of things that we continue to do to work as a team that have continued. So if we have turned around, and today you are giving me the opportunity to be a patron among some of the very wealthy states who had all the money to do what they had to do. And we had all the effort to do what we have to do. And we are matching them in that. In fact, I will be the happiest person to go to Kaduna and decorate that young man. And say, with all your money, I'm a patron before you are decorating me. I didn't know the one of Cross River had already been decorated. I would have removed his decoration and just my own. So this is how we achieve it collectively. This is how we work as a team. And I have introduced everybody, but I will not make the mistake that my president of NIPR did by coming back to all the microphone and introduce his wife. My own wife is being represented by my first daughter, Sule, who is. So tell everybody who tell her that I introduced her before I started. And I must thank you today for honoring me with this. But more importantly, it's about our university. I believe so much in this university. And I believe that this university will define the future for Nigeria's leadership. And I'm happy that my dear brother, Council of Speakers, who has come in here to clearly tell us that if we are not able to do it, he's taking it to the kitchen. Unfortunately for you, the two major contractors of that university are here. We have Architect Tukulia, who is building all the residential and the fencing and the fire and everything, and he's doing a wonderful job there. And one thing that Nigeria everywhere has continued to speak about, for those who have seen, is our state secretariat in this house. The gentleman who built the state secretariat is the gentleman who is building the Senate building, and he is also sitting right there by our right. And because everything is built by the roadside, every day I pass by there, whether I'm coming to Abuja or I'm going back to life here, I slow down to look at and see what is happening there. And that's the reason why Professor Andrew cannot sleep. Because constantly I tell him, I have seen so and so that I didn't like, therefore we have to change it. If I see something major that I don't like, then I drive in to make sure I go and check. But I've seen a lot of work with Architect Seze, and I asked him, Architect Seze, so many people are waiting that if we are not able to do this university, they want to take over. I'm happy that he has had it himself today, that AKT is waiting. And Kaduna State is waiting. And I'm not telling you, it's not a joke. they are seriously waiting. And they really want it. And they feel, for whatever reason, that because they have more money than Nasarawa, that they deserve it more than we do. So that is the reason why God is on. Because the time that I went into this, when they brought the first bill for this university, I went online and I said, how did I get into this matter now? Because it was Professor Andrew who told me that we have to build it's a university that is coming, global alliance, 126 countries are coming, and they are only going to Abuja and the state where this university is situated. And so far, Lagos has shown interest, Kaduna has shown interest, Patron has shown interest, and all these people are people with plenty of money. And I told him, I said, Professor Nasarawa also is interested. He said, are you? I said, yes. He said, okay, submit your, at that time I didn't know how much money the university would require. So he asked me and I said, yes, so I submitted my letter. Locally, my letter went before all those places because they are too far from Abuja. So before they send their letter, my letter had arrived. And now they say the council has accepted, oh, it's going to be Nasarawa State. I don't know what you are. Where is the university? That Nasarawa. Which Nasarawa? And Timoji didn't want it in Nasarawa. That's why she's laughing. Everybody, when they ask them, the first NIPR university is going to be set up in Nigeria. Then people will say, oh, wonderful, Lagos, right? I said, no, not in Lagos. Oh, Abuja. He said, no. Oh, Port. He said, no, not Port. Where? He said, where? He said, Nasarawa State. Where is that? Very close to Abuja. Oh, really? Yeah. Which place is that? It's a Woody. Woody. Never heard of the term Woody. That's right. So that is the challenge for us. This is what I'm looking forward to. This is the legacy I want to leave behind. I wanted Nasarawa that was not known at all in mining, that I'm living in Nasarawa, the biggest mining state in the whole country. I wanted Nasarawa that has never been known. Believe me, Woody was not selected by me, they are here. We gave them sign because when we first mentioned, we said, make it Engr, so that we will not be saying Nasarawa, we will be saying Karo, close to Abuja. That's what we wanted. So we gave them a site in Peninsula. They said no. They didn't like that one. We gave them Latvia, our state capital. They said they didn't like that one. We gave them somewhere in Apanga. Several places. Everywhere they went there, and they selected the one. We gave them reluctantly the one in Modification. And they said that is the one they wanted. So then the next was about the money. Like my sister has mentioned. So I went to NEC and our ESCO. I said, ESCO, we have a problem. Because they have now given us the go ahead to do the university. And I don't want to borrow. Because every work we are doing in Nasarawa State, we are not borrowing. We are doing it ourselves. So I don't want to borrow. So where are we going to do this? Do we really find a way to tell Professor Andrew to tell them, we are thinking to do it maybe 2 years from now. That way they will get angry and move it to somewhere else. I said, but let me tell you something that you don't know. During the period of COVID, since that time when we had problems, the accountant general and I started saving some money, which none of you in the ESCO knew. And the money now had gone to about 7 billion. And if you agree, we'll take 6 billion and invest in this university. And the ESCO accepted, agreed, and that's how we took 6 billion and that's it to put into that. Otherwise, we didn't have any money. It's just Rigima that took us into this matter. But at the end of the day, we thank God that it is working. And so my brother from Ekiti, In fact, it is not even in the cycle, so I don't know how that. Yeah, it is Lagos that is fighting for it very badly. Lagos is fighting for it. Someone who up to yesterday, right? He was still asking, how is the river? Yes, it was moving very fast. You know, Kaduna was never rest. Kaduna said a faculty should be given to, before we finish the university, what's a faculty? You know this. So this is what we go through, and that's why I'm happy that I'm being decorated today. May God continue to pray to you. Thank you. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. My kind of leadership is the leadership that is both in the private sector and actually in government. It's a leadership where you will get the people to believe in what they are doing, to love what they are doing, without any strict supervision. Then you get the best performance out of it. So that is the reason why I will tell you I need to story over because it gives the people the freedom to operate within their own space and usually get the best out of people for that. I don't even want to say technocrat because there are so many people who call themselves technocrats that have never managed anything. Sule is just a fine human being that worked in the private sector and finally found himself. So he carried honesty, carried loyalty, carried transparency.
We'll start with the traditional rulers first. So traditional rulers said they want to take the team first. So that we ever okay. Please can we move this thing? Okay, so you can join them. Have you taken? Okay, let's move this. Okay. All right. The president should kindly join.
Honestly, I'm over time. But I felt even it.
Traditional rulers can now step down. We want council members to please come. Thank you. Council members now can join. After the council members, we have honorable commissioners. Council members, please join.
Sorry, sir. We are taking it back.
After the council members, fellows should please come. Fellows, please. After the council members, fellows should please come. Fellows, please. Thank you, council members. Now, fellows should please come. After the fellows will take the honorable commissioners and the permanent secretaries.
When you see white, it's yellow white. Brown is brown. And those brown chips, if it's brown chips, it means that you said that that is
fellows,
his character is best. It is the best man of my person. I don't know how that kind of person still in this world. I can't understand. I assure you that for the only government I will see is this. And Sule is best. In this world that I know, a lot of people to when we live, before they start realizing what it is. When Jesus did it, I pray.
After the fellows, okay, Nasarawa chapter should come behind just
one thing that I know in my mind that I believe is about my total commitment to the people and to the state.
please, after we now take honorable commissioners, please. Honorable commissioners, please. Honorable commissioners.
I believe in my religion. I believe strongly in my religion. I believe that I believe that you may live alive today and tomorrow you are gone. So I believe every minute of the day I should prepare myself and feel that I will be there. So that's the reason why I'm just keeping my head.
After the honorable commissioners, we have the special advisors. The special advisors, please. Okay, after the special advisors, we will do reverse procession order out of this place. The pictures will be continued outside. Pictures to continue outside, please. Pictures to continue at the gallery there. Let's all go to the gallery. Please. Yes, please.
Yeah, you. Let's go.
All right. So the pictures will continue outside, please. Thank you.
Okay, viewers, we have come to the end of the investiture of Governor Sule of Nasarawa State, and what we are seeing is a procession by reverse procession with Governor Sule and the President of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations and the Vice President leaving the hall. And as you can see, Everybody is coming out from the Investiture Hall, and I'm so lucky you brought it guys. I'm so
I didn't touch it. It's someone else now. Okay. I didn't. Is this man in front? I didn't know there was phone there.
The area of security, the area of education, and the area of power. The right leadership in various sectors. So yes, we need the money. But the most important thing is that to have sincere, credible leadership. But about the various sectors, we need a leader, a leader, members of the National Assembly. So these are the kind of leadership we are talking about. So we are happy that NIPR is beginning to show the way forward, and that's exactly the direction we are going. So appreciate it.
Your meeting with Mr. President, sir. Thank you. Your meeting with Mr. President. My mic. That's it. Don't make a rush.
receives only 2 now. Wait now. You see this one now. If you buy another one now, if you buy another one, you can go with this mic. Wait, let me close this one.
Dear viewers, we have come to the end of the investiture of the Nasarawa state government in Gilead, Abdullahi Sule, which held today at the auditorium of the African Ladies Peace Mission here in Abuja. I want to thank you for staying with us, and always please ensure that you follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, X, and on YouTube. Thank you so much, and here with us. We will see you next time. My name is Duke. Thank you.